just to say hello, and we're going to be posting a video. This is a girl, Laura Rainey, who was hoping to come to PW, but unfortunately she's never been able to meet with us. Laura went out on a trip to Asia and it changed her life because she saw girls out there who were trafficked and who were then trying to make a living out of making jewellery, and they had really touched her heart, and she came home and started a business here at home called Hope and Light. So I hope you'll be challenged by this video, and certainly our theme for PW this year has been side by side, and ladies, we need to walk side by side with our brothers and sisters all over the world as they are living for Jesus in other parts of the world. So hope you will be challenged as you watch this video, and we hope you really enjoy it. Thank you.
Hello ladies, my name is Laura Rainey. I'm from Ballywatt. I am married to Steve and I have two children, Benjamin who is 9 and Ella who is 7. And I am the founder of Hope and Light. So firstly, it's a real privilege to be able to share with you during these difficult times, and I thank you for the opportunity to be able to do that. Over the next few minutes, I hope to tell you about the ministry of Hope and Light and what God has called me to do over the last year or so. So firstly, why trafficking? Why have I got such a passion for these women and children? And that is a question I didn't even really know the answer to myself until relatively recently. Nor was it even a question that I asked myself. It was just something that was there, present in my heart, like a gift that God had given to me. Through the last year and a half, God has been strongly calling me into this work, and I know this calling stems from abusive experiences throughout my own childhood. My personal experience and the journey in my relationship with God is a reflection of how God can restore us and bring the good out of the bad. So it's for these reasons that I have such a passion for helping these women and children who have fallen victim to modern day slavery. It was through the ministry of a speaker from a local charity who came to my own church to speak about trafficking, and I was sure through that God was speaking to me. It was also through this organisation that I first visited Asia about a year and a half ago. It was a difficult decision at the time, as I've mentioned I have two young children at home. However, it was the best decision I have ever made. It was following this trip that I founded the ministry of Hope and Light Jewellery to support victims of trafficking and those who work with them. Human trafficking is an especially significant threat in Southeast Asia. Sex trafficking is a global issue that must be addressed, with 225,000 women and children trafficked annually. It is estimated that every 30 seconds someone is trafficked for sexual exploitation, and 1 in 4 of these are children. The core values of Hope and Light are to support partners across Asia involved with working with victims of human trafficking and exploitation. It's to help provide them with a safe working environment for the women and to help with basic needs such as education, housing and food. Above all, we exist to bring spiritual hope and light to women and children who are trapped, enslaved and exploited. Having returned from Asia for a second time, I have now developed into several projects across Asia. Our first project was in Laos, and now we are working in Laos, Bangkok, Chiang Mai, Cambodia and Pakistan. Hope and Light gives these women an alternative to the work that they are in. It offers them freedom and it teaches them skills. It gives them safe work. The women make all of the jewellery that Hope and Light sells, and it also provides them with an alternative income. Most of all, we seek to show these women that they are worth so much more, that they are valued and most of all loved. We want them to grow in strength and in dignity, to be offered freedom and restoration through Him. Since starting Hope and Light, we have been able to keep women employed in safe work and feel productive and of worth. Also through lockdown, the women were able to make jewellery from home and stay off the streets, avail of the safe homes and avoid being lured back into the sex industry. Funds have also been raised to enable our partners to continue to outreach to the red light district. Building relationships, which is really important with these women, and giving out basic necessities. We have been able to train women at risk of trafficking in the rural areas of Asia, in a programme to teach basic jewellery making techniques and sewing so that they can therefore return to their villages and earn a safe living for themselves and for their families. It also raises their social status so they can stay safe in their own communities. During lockdown, we were also able to support our partners in Pakistan by supplying food, as many people were unable to work because of the coronavirus restrictions. We've also been able to support widows who have no income and their children by providing funds. Otherwise, the children would not be in school and they would be working to try and provide an income for themselves and their families. I would like to share with you some of the stories about the lives of the women and children who have been touched by the work. Women and children who I've came across, who I've met personally. One of those first is a child called Vin. Vin was brought up in a rural community. Her father was unwell and she was sold by her father to provide for the rest of the family. She was working in kind of like a petrol station, long hours, and was subject to abuse. Through our partners in this rural community, she was able to be rescued and she is now being cared for within this project. She was sold for her body weight in rice, which is, yes, very alarming and hard to believe, but unfortunately this is what is happening across Asia to many of these children. Daniel, again, is another small baby that I was able to hold in my arms whenever I was in Cambodia. Daniel was part of an illegal adoption ring. He was passed through several families because from mum he had acquired several sexually transmitted diseases and he was also HIV positive. So Daniel was rescued by our project. He was given a chance, he was taken care of and he was looked after. I visited and was able to see Daniel in the hospital in Cambodia in the HIV ward. Unfortunately, because of his circumstances, he was unable to survive, which was totally heartbreaking when I heard the news not long after I returned home. But, you know, as I was working with the partners, they said to me, you know, Laura, we have to use Daniel as an example for this is why we do what we're doing, because there's so many lives out there that are being sold, traumatized, people in desperate situations and poverty that need our help. Cambodia is an area that has really touched my heart. Going to Cambodia, I was through an area called the Heart of Darkness. This area is really dark, really seedy. I would really describe it as a mishmash. It has people living in poverty, ladies brushing around their homes of a piece of cardboard, walking down the streets that's mixed alongside people out exercising, people doing exercise classes, and within meters there are ladies lying there trying to get rest before they are sent out to work by their pimps that evening. Off this there is streets again. They all have bars where the girls are all there working, again from a whole variety of backgrounds. Mostly a lot of this is because the girls are under tremendous pressure to earn a wage to send back to their family. A lot of the children are being looked after by their parents. So these girls are under real pressure. A lot of these girls are minors as well. The area is just very dark. There is rubbish meters high and there's children living in this. As a mother, I was shocked first of all with the cars travelling about and tuk-tuks and children running about in their bare feet. But the project partner that I was with at the time said to me, you know, Laura, this is their home. And that is a really shocking fact, that is their home, that they are subjected to men coming into their area. I watched a young girl wash her hands in the dirty dishwasher water left over from a food vendor, because that was all she had to wash her hands in. Children being pushed about in buggies at midnight. Simply that was their beds. Children sitting on the side of the road. One of the most heartbreaking scenarios that I came across was a lady who was sitting at the side of the road cradling a baby, but she had children around her, and one of the children was a young girl who she had dressed in a white dress. And I learned from our partners that they were working alongside the government and with this lady because she was selling out her own daughter. Now, to me, that breaks my heart, because I think about my own daughter. I think about the opportunities and the safety that we have here. I think about how I know at night that I put my daughter to bed and that she's safe. And I just think about even simple things like education and everything that we take for granted. And really, these women are in desperate situations, and this lady, when I looked at her face, she didn't really show any signs of remorse or anxiety, and that is because we are trying to break a cycle. This lady came from a background where she was sold from her own mother, and it's just really a repetitive cycle. On top of that, you have the bars, these young girls that are in the bars, and really a lot of them are brainwashed into believing that what they are doing is perfectly normal. So what we try to do is to work and alongside these women, build up relationships with them so that we can offer them such hope and such a better opportunities than what they are involved in. And in amongst all the streets in this mishmash in Cambodia, one thing that really struck me was a little tiny bunny rabbit that was sitting on the pavement, just in amongst all the rubbish and everything that was going on. And it was so tiny, it could have fit into the palm of my hand. And first of all, I thought, well, why is it even there? But to me, it was a symbol from God to show me it was really its vulnerability of it sitting there. But to me, it was nothing compared to the vulnerability of these children that are living in these circumstances in Cambodia. So we want to be able to support and carry out this work and enable as many women and children to be supported as we can. And I really appreciate any support and help in order to keep this going, especially over these difficult times during lockdown and the coronavirus pandemic. I just want to say as well that these are not statistics that I'm telling you about today. These are real life, true stories, very much real. And you know, it's only when we think about these circumstances and the stories that, you know, we can begin to realise the difficulties, the complex physical and emotional pain these women and children and families go through. So my vision is to restore and help these women. But I also hope that by hearing about this work, it will inspire you to plead with the Lord for change. That you will also catch this vision and share with me in prayer that these women will be rescued from the sex trade and stay in safe work, come to know and grow in their relationship with God, feel wanted and loved. And I would just like to close by giving you a verse that was given to me from Joel chapter 2 verses 25 and 26. It reads, "I will repay you for the years the locusts have eaten, the great locust and the young locust, the other locusts and the locust swarm. My great army that I sent amongst you, you will have plenty to eat until you are full, and you will praise the name of the Lord our God, who has worked wonders for you. Never again will my people be shamed." Perhaps you're wondering where you can purchase this jewellery. Over lockdown in June, I was able to launch my website, which is hopeandlightshop.com. And we have several collections, all coming from different areas that I'm working with. For example, Cambodia that I've just been talking about. We have, for example, the Freedom Bracelet, also in a necklace, and also for young children. The Freedom Bracelet is really special. It is handmade by the ladies in clay. It has a key to represent freedom, that you are helping to purchase the freedom of others. It also has a pearl on it, because they say pearl, the pearl is because Cambodia is the pearl of Asia. And also it has a little symbol on it of people joining hands to represent building the bridge between those who are in sexual slavery and those who are free. We also have the Mekong collection, which is more of a boho style with beading, and we also have a Surin range, which is beaten metals and more finer jewellery. So really there's something there to cater for everyone. Not only does the website have the jewellery, it also has more information about the work of Hope and Light. It has journals written by myself and blogs, and it also has the story behind Hope and Light and what really we are about. It's not simply just selling jewellery. What we want to do is support the women and children and put an end, this is our greatest goal, is to put an end to trafficking and to show freedom and hope and light to these women across Asia. If you would like to donate, there's also a section on the website in order to do that. And I just would really like to say thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and for any support that you offer. I am really appreciative of your prayers also. And I just want to say thank you, and if you would like to get in touch with me, you can contact me via the website. And I'm so thankful for any support. Thank you very much.